Hey, Lazar, how are you?
How are you? You've been away for a while, huh?
Yeah, I was away for about 2 weeks, and then I was just too jet lagged to do anything. But
Where'd you go?
went on a cruise in the Mediterranean.
Wonderful. Oh, that's
Beautiful.
wonderful.
And we were
Nice.
Shabbos in Barcelona last.
Oh, wow. Was it a kosher cruise or just what you went with?
It's not a specifically kosher food, but cruise, but they keep kosher food on the boat and they keep a kitchen separate. So it was nice.
Oh,
They did a good
wow.
job.
That's wonderful. Good for you. Did you go without, you just do with your wife or you went with other friends too?
We went with my family. I went with my wife, my siblings, my parents. It was my parents' 60th wedding anniversary.
That
So
is
we all
wonderful.
got together for that. It was beautiful.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. So you saw a lot of cities, huh?
A lot of
Where'd you
cities
go?
where there were Jews there 500, 600 years ago, but not much today.
Wow. Is that something? Was it Spain?
Yeah, so we went to where the Ramban had the Vikuach and the house of the
Oh.
Rashba and where the expulsion was signed, and
Oh, boy.
Gibraltar, which has Kolalim and lots of Yid in there.
No
And
kidding.
we were in Morocco, in Tangiers has an active shul.
Wow.
Oh, you went-
Beautiful.
oh.
That's wonderful.
How's Gibraltar?
Loved it.
Really?
Well, first of all, you get off the boat and there's from people walking up and down the street, right and left, little kids
No
with yarmulkes on, and you're coming
No
out of
kidding.
Spain where everything is, no Jews.
Pork.
And it's
Pork.
like, what the heck just happened here, And there's
Wow.
kosher restaurants and synagogues,
Really? I can't
Do they have
believe it, really.
taxes? Do they have taxes
no
there?
taxes. And in fact, not only do they have no taxes, but it's become the center for online businesses that do online gambling
Oh, when are you moving?
any day. I'm moving to Barcelona. That's what I liked. Oh,
Good for you. Good
I know
for you.
why.
I'm moving alone.
Oh,
Chabad of Barcelona had, I don't know, 100, 150 people every meal, fully catered, beautiful.
wow. Good for them.
Good.
You were in Madrid
Good.
also?
No, we're just on the coast of del Sol.
That's nice.
Were we
So
holding eight?
We missed you.
Yes.
We
Oh,
7B in the bottom, 8A. 8A.
okay. All right.
No, I was gonna get on like over the last few nights, but I kept falling asleep.
It's okay.
Which cruise was it?
Silver Sea,
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. How many on the boat?
550, something like that, passengers.
Uh-huh.
Like-
Any,
Like 10,000 crew. You know what I mean?
yeah, any interesting people?
Yeah, really interesting. I had a really nice time with an older German couple. They were really interesting.
Adolf and Maria?
Ursula and Manfred
Oh, okay.
from
I see.
Stuttgart.
I'm sure they were.
And then a couple from Australia, broker from Australia, really interesting.
Any from people?
No, but they make a minion. Yes,
Oh.
they're from-ish people. They
Yeah,
made a
traditional,
minion
yeah.
Friday night. Now Shabbos came in at 9:40. So,
Oh.
they're not from, they're making a minion at 6 o'clock at night, and I'm sitting at the pool in my bathing suit, and I'm the only one wearing a yarmulke. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so,
What's wrong with this picture?
exactly. Whatever.
I was on a cruise once and they had a woman who decided she would lead the services.
Yeah.
And they're from people on the ship. And there was a big to-do there because she was in charge, but nobody wanted to go daven with her. It didn't make any sense. We explained to her, she said, no, I'm in charge. So we made our own minion someplace else.
We had the same thing once on the boat, the same thing.
Oh, say, yeah.
They want to make an egalitarian minion and they
Right.
invite all these people.
Right.
Yeah, no, but then when I get up to make kiddush in the dining room, which it's a small, it's not small, but it's like a restaurant, whatever. You see then people come over,
Oh,
They all
yeah,
come
my
and look at the-
grandfather used to do that.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how many people come out of the woodwork always. Welcome back, Kenny. You had a good time?
Thank you. It was
Yeah.
interesting when we were in Barcelona at the hotel, and I was getting the clerk to like buzz us up in the elevator and the room and this and that. And he was this nice, Spanish guy, and he was so happy to help us. And as we're in the elevator, he says to me, "I have Jewish blood. My
Oh, God.
grandfather said we're from Conversos." It's
Wow.
interesting.
Kenny, did you go
Yeah.
to that meat restaurant where you go down in the basement?
I don't know. In Barcelona, we went to Maccabi, and we went to where the Vikuach was. Like, there's not much.
But
There's
there's a
not
nice,
really that much left to see.
but there's a nice kosher restaurant
Yeah, there was a nice kosher restaurant
on the
and,
Rambla. On the Rambla.
on the Rambla, right? I loved Barcelona. Loved it.
Gaudi.
Gaudi's
Gaudi
beautiful,
building.
wonderful.
Beautiful.
And
Okay,
everything in Europe is so cheap now. It is like crazy.
because the dollar is strong.
Yeah, the dollar's on par with the euro.
It's cheap because all the stocks went down, Kenny. That's what happened.
True too.
Okay.
Okay, we're on Ches Amud Aleph. My Mavorech. What actually is the nusach of the bracha of the Sheva brachos? Amar v'da bracha to Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, shehakol bara lichvodo. And then the Yotzer HaAdam, that's actually the fourth bracha. If that's actually the third bracha, if you include Borei Pri HaGefen as the first bracha. Vasher Yotzar Sadam B'Tzalmo B'Tzelem Dmus Tavniso V'Hiskin Lo Mimenu Binyan Adayad Baruch Ato Hashem Yotzer Adam. That Rashi says refers to the creation of the female. The Yotzer Adam is the creation of the male human being. The Bora Lichvodo that Meforshim explain that it's in honor of the kahal that is gathered there for the chatunah. That's the concept that you have to have 10 people there. Everything is made for the Kavod Hashem. It refers to the kahal. Others say that because of Pru or Vu, and Klal Yisrael is going to get bigger, the Kavod Hashem is growing in the world. So, and most Meforshim say the Yotzer Adam is the first man, and the Dmus Tavniso, right? It was the female is like the Dmus of the original creation, and the female is the Binyan Adayat. The Takana was to create a Binyan Adayat, which is the female. Baruch Ato Hashem Yotzer Adam. Sos tasis v'tagel hakara. B'kibutz panei l'tocha b'simcha Baruch Ato Hashem v'samech tzion b'vanea. Which always refers to the Geula. That is this whole concept of Elet Yushalayim al Rosh Simchati. That if I make a simcha, I always have to think of Yushalayim. You got to say anytime you have any kind of misibashal simcha, you got to mention Yushalayim, especially a simcha yisir of a wedding. Then Samech Samach Re'im Ha'uvim, Kesamecha Yitzircha Beganei Mikedem, Baruch Ato Hashem Samech Chosun V'Kala. Rashi Bracha L'Chosun V'Kala Sheyatzlichu B'Simcha V'Tuv Lev. Vasher Bora, the last one, Rashi says L'Shem Kol Yisrael. And Lefisha Seder Maschil Me'asher Yotzar. Lefichach Pasov Baba Baruch, V'Chosun Baba Baruch. They're called Rosh Seder Brachos. V'sos tasis v'samech t'samech b'nei shein bracha smucha lechaverta lo pasach ben baruch. They're a bracha that's connected to a previous bracha, doesn't have to open up with a bracha. Shekein takin l'chol bracha smucha sachar rishon al seder. Masher bara mipnei shehi ne'emeres yichidis b'rovi me'asimcha. Remember, if there's no panim chadoshos, you only say one bracha, asher bara. Kishein sham panim chadoshos. Leficha, and you can't have it as a smucha bracha. It has to start with a bracha. V'hutzrich lefachot liftoch b'baruch, l'sayim b'baruch. Aval shakol bar l'chvodo ein min haseder, el lasifa sa'ama nesofim sham l'gmul chosid. Like we said, the bar l'chvodo is because of the gathering of the people there. Zecher l'chazdei amokim shenogim odem harishon. Shenashal shuzbin tzasik bo. HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself was like the groomsman from Odem harishon. Vasifazu kavod hamakom hi. The gathering of Jews for a wedding is a kavod for Hashem, and that's what brachos lekach niskana. Umishas asifo hi rui levach. He should have made the bracha when people started gathering. El mekivan sheish bracha lakos hazikikol l'sidra Allah, that we made these brachos on a kos. Meaning have that birchas psalmim birchas Allah or Motzei Shabbos, just like we gather the other brachos like Motzei Shabbos. We connected to the birchas Allah kos. Right, Rabbi Mefazran, Rabbi spread them out for chayz v'sidron lakos. Rav Chia mekansen hoyel v'yesham kos. So the same way we do Havdalah, we do it here. Since Sharkol bara lechvod lefi she'enim mishar seder habrachos, v'kulo da'achas lo chasmo b'baruch, midev ha'birchas peros u'mitzvos. It's like a regular, like boy prays. Same thing, Yotzra Adam. She'ktiknu li'yitzir rishon shel Odem harishon. Now, Ilaman Davar Shtei Yitzir Savi, did the man and woman created separately? Or Ilaman Davar Shtei Yitzir Solom Machshava, Hashem had a concept of two Machshavas, but Ubasar Machshavas Linon, and we went after the Machshava, and it was created as one, and we split them. We call Mokom Eina Miseder Brachos Azivuk, Dabi Yitzir Rishona Kati Nekeva Lohavi. When Hashem created Adam, there was no Nekeva. Vim toimer lama he bought mitoch she'anu mevarchim al yitzir hashniya tiknu af al harishona she'ikar tchilaso. Then it says v'yiskin lo mimenu migufo mitzalosav, that the Isha was created from his body, from his rib. Binyan noig l'doiros, because vayiven es atzela, he created her out of a rib. The akar is Yushalayim. The reim ahuvin is the chos of a kala. And the way he was Mesamech Odem harishon in Gan Eden, because it says Vayita Gan Eden Miked, Vayasem Sham. Okay. Then that bracha ends Mesamech Choson Vechala. Rashi says, Uvachrona Mesamech Choson Imakala. Says Rashi, Lefisa Simchas Brachas Harishon Lo B'Simchas Chasuna Anu. It's not al sti chasna. Sharei tefila hi shemispalalim u'mavarchim sheyusmeichim b'atzlacha kol yameim. It's a bracha to the couple; they should be happy. Lefichach ein lachsam ba mesamech chasan imakala. Demashma ish bi ishto. El baruch Hashem mesamech shneim la'olam. B'sipuk mezoynes v'chol tov, with good profession. Uvachrona shabech mishabech la'kodesh baruch hu. The Asher Bara bracha is a praise to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Shabar Chasunas Dibuk Ish Biisha. He created weddings so man and women will stick together. They simcha v'chedva. Lefichach yesh lachto mesamech chasanim akala. Shalosh simcha ish biishto. So I wanted to read all these Rashis because we go to many weddings, we hear all these brachas. It's important that we see the sources of all these brachas. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu v'chalom asher bara sosav v'simcha chasav v'kala gila rina. Ditza chedva ava v'achla sham v'reis me'er Hashem Elokeinu yishama b'arei Yudav v'chutzos Yerushalayim kol sosav v'kol simcha kol chas v'kol kala kol mitzvahs chasonim v'chuposim v'norim v'shteni ginosa baruch atah Hashem v'samech chasim akala. Levi ikla be Rabbi Lulid Rabbi Shimon Brei. Levi went to the house of Rabbi by the wedding of his son Rabbi Shimon. Borich Chamesh. He removed one of the Asher Yotzars. Ravasi iklabe Ravashi bilu de marbre brich shis. He said all of them. The 6 plus the boy paragofen. What's the machlokas here? Lema vakamifki. The Mars of Chadi Yitzirahabi. Ravasi, Levi held there was one creation. That male and female were created back to back. Echad zachar, echad nekeva. There was no special Yitzira by woman. He just split them. Therefore, you don't have to double the bracha. Because it was the same Yitzira. Umar sover shtei Yitzira sabi. That the creation of Chava was a separate Yitzira. Versus Lo, no, that's not the machlokas. The Kula al Machadi Yitzira abi. Everybody holds it was one Yitzira, back to back, male, female. Mar sover basar machshava azlina. Already at the time of when Hashem had a machshava, that the man and woman were going to be separate. So therefore, there's 2 brachas. Umar sover basar ma'isa azlina, which was only one Yitzira. So that Levi said, you only make 1 bracha of Asher Yotzra. Ki had Rav Yudah Rami, Ksiv vayivralu kim es Adam b'tzalmo. One pasuk says Hashem created Adam in his image. Uksiv zachar unekeva bara'am. Another pasuk says he created them zachar nekeva. Had ketza. Betchila Allah b'machshav libara shnayim. Hashem first wanted to create both man and woman. But Uvasof Nivra Echad, he created one back to back, and then he split them. That's a story that in the second parak where it says he did an operation, he split them. Ravashi Ikla be Rav Kahana. Ravashi visited Rav Kahana, Yom Kama Brich Kulu. He said all 7. Mikan ve'elech, Iyik Panim Chadosha Brich Kulu. This is what the halacha is based on. If there's Panim Chadoshos, then we say all 7. Ve'ilah Fusha Simcha B'Amu. So Mevarch Simcha B'Mono and benching. Vasher Bora as the Simchas as the one Sheva brachos, and that's it. You always make the Sheva brachos of the first Suda, even for a widower who marries a widow. Not like the Rambam, who says that if there's no Panim Chadoshos, you don't make a bracha even by the first Suda. If you have Panim Chadoshos, you can make Sheva brachos a whole day. Then Mishiva ad Shloishim. From the 7th day to the 30th day, Bein Amar Lu Machmas Hilula, Bein Lo Amar Lu Machmas Hilula. When you make a Suda and you eat, whether they're inviting guests because of the wedding, whether they're not inviting for the wedding, it's still considered the time of the wedding. And when you make benching, Mevarach Shasim Chabimono. Mikan ve'elech, beyond 30 days, if the guests are gathering because of the wedding, even on day 60, you say Shasim Chabimono. V'ilolo. What is when do you stop doing it? The whole Shana Rishona. If you invite guests to a suit and you say it's to honor the wedding, you can say Shasim Chabimono. Umi Ikar Me'emes, when do you start saying? When you pour the wine on the barley when you start chopping up the barley to make beer. So even when you prepare, once they had Kiddushin, they would bench and they would say Shasem Sechamno. Shani Rav Papa David Tarech Lei. Rav Papa was involved from every day with the wedding. Ravina Iyasik Le'Livrei Bei Rav Chaviva. Ravina was occupied with the wedding of his son by Rav Chaviva. Ubarich Mishasei Rusi. Also made the Simcha B'Mono Bracha from the time of Kiddushin. Amar Kinli B'Gavayv D'Lo Hadri B'Hu. I hope that they don't go back on the wedding. But Lo Yistai Milsa Hadri B'Hu. They didn't have mazel, and the wedding didn't take place. Rav Tachlifa bar Marava ikla Bavel. Rav Tachlifa went to Bavel. Baruch Shisarichta. He would add other nuschos beyond the six brachos that we have. He would add the less hilchos kavase. Allah was not like it. Rav Chaviva ikla be mahula baruch shasimcha bimano the less hilchos kavase. There was a bris there. And he still said shasimcha bimano. But the halacha is not like that because there's pain for the child. So we don't say shasim chabimano. That's another reason that we don't say shechianu. By all mitzvahs, when we do the mitzvah for the first time, you shake the lulav, you say shechianu. You blow the shofar, you say shechianu. When you do mila, you don't say shechianu. Some say because of the same svar of the Tsar Yanuka. It says that the halacha really was that in the first year you should say Shasim Chabi Mono whenever you have a meal where it's commemorating the wedding. However, listen to the Shulchan Aruch. Biyamenu kisharabu tzaras Yisrael ein nohagin lomar Shasim Chabi Mono ela b'shivas yimei Mishnah. So we don't do it except for the 7 days after. We don't say when we ben Shasim Chabi Mono, only during the Sheva Brachos, 7 days. When you count 10, the Chasan counts. However, ein avelim min minyan. When you need a minyan for an avel, you don't count the avel. Meisrei chasan avelim min minyan. There's a brayso that says avelim are min minyan. So. Masnisan Karamas alei the Rav, you're bringing me a brayso against Rav Tanahu Upalig. So this is one of the few places in Shas where it says this. Rav is the first generation after Rebbe. Rav was a Talmud of Rebbe Yehuda Nasi. Most people consider Rav the first Amoira. That generation was the first of the Amoraim. But he's also sort of the last of the Tanoim. Therefore, Rav is considered like a Tana, and therefore he can argue with a Baraisa. Am Rav Yitzchak Am Rav Yochanan, Chasanim min Aminyan, Vein Avelim min Aminyan. Again, Meitzvei Chasanim Avelim min Aminyan. There's a Baraisa that says Avelim are Ki Tanya B'Birkas HaMazon. The Baraisa was to make a zimun. Because an Avel is chayv in all mitzvahs, including Birchas HaMazon. Ki Komer Rav Yochanan, when Rav Yochanan said that the Avelim are not, it's Beshura, right? When you leave the cemetery, you make parallel lines, and the Avel walks through the Shura. So there's no Shura unless there's 10 people. And the Avel can't be part of the Shura, because he has to walk through the Shura.
Can the onen be considered an minyan?
No. We're talking Avel is when you start Shiva.
I know, but can the onen be considered an minyan or not? We have people in our shul.
An onen is potter from mitzvahs.
I understand. So maybe is that why is he not part of the, can he not be considered the 10th one? We have other people that Amoritz that doesn't know any of the daven that sits and makes the minyan.
We're talking about when we say a chasen is part of the minyan, we're talking about a minyan for having 10 people to say Sheva brachos.
Okay, but
here we're talking about an avel, part of the minyan that relates to like making the shura that is needed for an avel.
I understand, but generally I'm asking a
We're not
question.
talking about like you need 10 men for a minyan. That's not what this Gemara is dealing with. right? It's not the sugya here. When we,
Right, okay.
when we say
Okay,
Avel
so-
Ba'asara, we're not dealing with the question, can an Avel be counted as part of the minyan? Mistama, he can, because it's not related to Din Avelis. And an Avel davens. Now, an Onain is potter from Tefillah. So I don't know whether an Onain is counted as part of the minyan because he's potter from all of these mitzvahs. So it could be a question whether an Onain is counted as a minyan. But an Avel is counted for a minyan.
Right, because he's Paki David said, right, that's what I figured.
Yeah, but an Onain is potter from Tefillah. Right?
Well,
Unless
but-
an
Yeah, I
Onain
know.
is potter from all mitzvahs.
right, I understand, but can he be, so he doesn't daven himself, but can he be counted as a 10th Jew? And a 10th Jew, the same
You
thing.
count someone to a minyan who has shaykhs to tefillah. And Amma Aretz says shaykhs to tefillah. The shliach tzibor davens for him.
I see, okay. That's a good point, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know whether when we learned in Surba the din of anines there, whether we asked the question whether it could be counted as a minyan. But that's not
Okay.
what the sugya here is dealing
I
with.
understand.
And therefore,
just
I don't
asked.
have any sources on the daf to answer
Okay.
your question.
Okay, yes, I understand. I
An
understand.
avel is mitzaref leminyan.
Right.
Leminyan for benching as well. But the avel cannot be part of the shura. That's what we've learned here.
Right.
So, Elohadam Rav Yitzchak Rav Yechon Varkin Birchas Chasanim Basara, the Chasanim in Aminya, Birchas Avelim Basara, Vein Avelim in Aminya. So the Gemara says, bracha b'shur mi'ika. What kind of bracha is there in the shura? Elakikom Rav Yechon Birchava. The bracha that they would make near the cemetery, they would make a big Sudas Havra, and there would be different brachas made to be Menachem the Avel. There you need Asara, and Avelim are not part of the minyan. Elhadam Rav Yitzchak Rav Yechon Varkin Birchas Chasanim Basara Kol Shiva. V'chasanim min amin, v'chas avelim basar kol shiva, v'ein avelim min amin, v'chas rechava kol shiva mi'ika. There is no bracha near the cemetery all 7 days. Only when they go home towards after the cemetery. And for the Gemara mishkachas la b'ponim chadoshos. There was a din of ponim chadoshos where people were not at the levaya, and then they would go over and make divrei chesped again and more nichum. And there they would be a bracha in the rechava. We don't even have these dinim anymore. Kihad Rav Chia barav makri b'nei deresh Lakish Havi. Rav Chia was the cheder teacher for the sons of Reish Lakish. V'armi lamasni brei deresh Lakish Havi. Some say he was the teacher of Reish Lakish. Shachav le'yanuka. He lost a child. Yom Kamelo Azla Gave. He didn't go visit him. L'mocha Davri Liyuda Bar Nachmeni Meturgim name. He went along with his Meturgamin to be Menachem Rav Chia. Armalei. Kumema Milsa called Kavel Yanuka. Reish Lakish said to the Meturgaman, say something regarding the Tinnik. Pasuk va'amar. Vayar Hashem vayinatz mikas panav uvnotav. Dor she'avot menatzim lakadosh baruch hu. A generation that fights with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kois abneiam v'abnoseim. We'll take it out on the children. Umesim kashem ketanim. The children will die. Now, what kind of nechama is this? It's not a nechama. V'ke diamri bocher have. He wasn't a child. V'achi kamer al kain al bachurav lo yismach Hashem es yisomas v'onas li'rachem. Hashem will not have mercy on the children. Ki chulu chanef umeira, b'chol peh dover nevola, b'chol zot. The father speaks dibul peh, l'shava po, didn't do tshuva, v'od yada netuya. And his outstretched hand is still there. My v'od yada netuya. You go to a wedding, everybody knows what's going to happen with the kala that night. But you don't say it out loud. Even if there's been a Gzardin written by Hashem for good for 70 years, he said, Nibul Peh, Nepach Alav L'Ra. So this is what the Maturgman said to what kind of nechama is this? Blaming the parent for the death of the child. Also, the Nachumi Tzarika, we come to comfort the causing pain. So Hachi Karmele, yeah. Choshev Ad Litfusei Adora. You're the Gadol Ador. Hashem deals with the Gedolim like this in this way. That takes it out on the Gedolim. It shows that you're a Gadol. Okay, say something to praise the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Pasuk V'amar Hakel HaGadol B'Rav Gadlo, Adir V'Chazak B'Rav Noirois, Mechayim Meisim B'Mamro, Oisek Dos HaDechekev Nifloz HaNidis, Baruch Hashem, Mechayim Meisim. That's the Shvach of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Amalei, Kum Ema Milsa Keneged Avelim. Say something for the Avelim. Pasuk V'amar, Achenu HaMiyugam HaMudukoim B'Avel Hazeh. My brothers that are suffering. Evaluate the following. Those he omeres la'ad. Nosivu misheshes me'breshis. This death is something that has existed from the beginning. Rabim shasu, rabim yishtu. Many drank from it, and many will drink. Kimishte rishonim kach mishte achronim. Achenu bal nechamas yinachem eschem, baruch menachem avelim. Amar Abaye rabim shasu lema. You can say many have suffered death. Rabim yishtu, but you shouldn't say many in the future will die. Mishte rishonim lema, mishte achronim lo lema. We shouldn't be poisech pel satan. Torah and Lakish Chaytanim Shrei Rav Yosef Loyim Yiftach Adam people sat. Or Rav Yosef Maikrok is Dama Yinu Lamar Daminu. We were like Stom, we were like Amira. Maya Haderle. So what did the Navi respond? Shimud Varshem Ktsine Stom. You only compared to bad because Stom. Then you talk about the reality of the generals of Stone. Say something about the people who are comforting the Aveli. Hashem, who is the Balagmul, should pay back your good deeds. Baruch atah mishalim agmul. Amalei ema milsa connected call Yisrael. Pasuk from Ribbon Ilami. Bedev atzel maleto sham chayisro min adever. Save Klal Yisrael from a plague. Min acherev min abizah min ashidofon, from floods min ayirokon, from other blights. Kol minei peranos of instructions of Oslo Olam. Terem nikra v'atat tana baruch atah Hashem oitzra magefla. Omer ula v'amilam avstisa tana. We're supposed to drink 10 cups by the Beis HaEvel. Shlosha kodem achila, 3 before we eat. K'dei liftach as bnei me'av, to open up his appetite. Shlosha b'soch achila, k'dei lishros achila shebeme'av, to help the digestion. V'arba lachar achila, echa k'neged azan, 1 is for the first bracha benching, echa k'neged birchos haaretz, echa k'neged boni Yerushalayim, echa k'neged atov ha'meitim. Osif aleinu arba, that's 10. Keneged chazanei ha'ir. This is like the, the Chevra Kadisha, the people who work for the community, the chazan, echa keneged parnasei ha'ir, the president, echa keneged Beis HaMikdash, echa keneged Rabban Gamliel. Ischilu, hayushoysim mishtakrin. So 10 cups of wine. So everybody is getting drunk. They went back. And drank only 10. Because they had made a takana to drink more. Now, why the bracha for Rabban Gamliel? My Rabban Gamliel, the Tanya. Burying a relative was worse than his death. Because the funeral parlors charge so much money. Family would leave the corpse and run away because it was too expensive. Gamliel, when he died, he made it sava, I want nothing. They took him out in linen. So the minhag changed, everybody didn't spend a lot of money. Now they'll go out even with a tachrichin made out of $1. We're not makbid by the begodim. Okay. Now, tomorrow, would everyone prefer 8 a.m. or would everybody prefer 4:30 p.m.?
4:30,
4:30.
my vote.
Yeah.
Okay,
4:30.
fine. 4:30, no problem.
4:30.
Go ahead.
4:30, no problem. 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. Have a good day,
Okay.
everyone.
Everybody have a good
Bye,
evening.
Bye, Latov, everybody.
Bye.